When we were first getting started, I will say we were viewed so skeptically by pretty much everyone. We knew in our hearts what we were trying to do, and we just sort of stuck to that vision and learned to walk that line and really build trust with all the parties we were working for. The fact we're in that kind of radical middle place is where we can really make such important progress happen.
There's nothing about sustainable conservation that's at the grass tops. It's definitely built on deep research, deep listening, understanding the various perspectives, and then charting a course forward. And that kind of a record is rare, and it's proven its effectiveness over and over again.
When I started at Sustainable Conservation, they had tried a number of different projects. They had also started the Brake Pad Partnership and the permitting. And when I came in, it did seem like it was time to focus because we were not a very big organization. And so we decided to focus on water.
The Brake Pad Partnership involved copper levels, which were high in the San Francisco Bay. And of course, the brake pad industry didn't want to reformulate brakes, but they also didn't want to be regulated or fined. So we sort of stepped in and said, okay, hold on, why don't we come up with a win-win solution, which we did.
Sustainable Conservation was very involved in the reformulation of brake pads in the state of California and did this in a cooperative way with the partnership of some of the leading brake pad manufacturers and had a really very positive impact on water quality as a result. Once the change was made in the brake pad formulation for California, because California is such an important part of the brake pad market in the United States, it ended up changing the brake pad formulation for the entire US. And so that's a way that, a small organization like Sustainable Conservation can really have a big and lasting impact.
Some of these problems, I like to say, there's no environmental problem that can get solved in 3 years. They take a lot longer to solve. So the fact that we've been able to stick with them has made a big difference. The Brake Pad Partnership took, from start to finish, 15 years. The work we've done on programmatic permitting to make restoration projects happen more quickly, that project had begun before I came to Sustainable Conservation, and we're still working on it at a much bigger scale and having much greater impact, but it shows that it takes a long time to address these issues.
The policy and permitting work we do to accelerate restoration, it's technical. It takes coordination with a lot of different folks. And sometimes it can take a little while to see the results. But when I hear about the increase in salmon populations that happen here on 10 Mile River, that is music to my ears. I mean, that makes the work gratifying. It brings it to life. It's like that shows us like what we're doing is making a difference.
We're the living laboratory to keep California a leader, to ensure that business is a part of the solution, moving further and further into a clean economy. It takes focus and vision and the power of bringing people together to make that happen.
The great thing about Sustainable Conservation's approach to solving issues is generally we're working on issues that I consider nonpartisan. Having a reliable water supply for agriculture, for people, for ecosystems should not be partisan because we do work with all parties in that radical middle on solutions that everybody believes in. We can work no matter what administration is in office and make progress, and we're continuing to make progress.
There has been almost no larger and more important reform in California water than managing our groundwater. The passage of the Sustainable Groundwater Management Act in 2014 and the last decade implementing that act. So the law was almost the easy part. The real challenge is helping those areas, helping those food producers do it. And that's where Sustainable Conservation has made such a marked difference. Partnering with groundwater management agencies, with farmers, with water districts, to find the ways that work to manage groundwater.
You look at, for example, the reflooding of farms in the Central Valley. When I first heard about it, it was characterized to me as, this is not likely to work in California. And farmers are going to be concerned that they're going to basically devalue their crops. I said, okay, that sounds like a non-starter. And Ashley said, no, we found one guy, one farmer who's willing to try it. So I want to try it. And I thought, one guy is really going to make a difference?
We began this work with an innovative farmer named Don Cameron, who was taking on this wild idea of taking these flood flows and putting it on his active farmland. While recharge has long been a solution in California, putting it on active farmland was a very new strategy. At the time, Don Cameron was only applying a few thousand acre feet on his farm. 6 years later, that number of on-farm recharge that was happening across the San Joaquin Valley exploded to 250,000 acre feet. And another 6 years later, in 2023, that number climbed again to 500,000 acre feet.
Her willingness to try things and sort of see little opportunities and pursue them was, it's been one of the kind of, I think, important ways that sustainable conservation has innovated.
We were doing some work on compost through our Waste Not program. And as we were doing that, we started to wonder why soil health practices weren't adopted more. And we started to wonder, could it be because people are really focusing on carbon, but the growers that we're trying to get to change their behavior really care about water? And so what if we were to communicate more about the water benefits of soil health? And we talked to Ashley about that, and she really encouraged us to pursue that and to ask more questions and trusted in us. And the result of that is our first new program in 10 years, Solutions in Our Soil.
I am so optimistic and energized with the work that sustainable conservation will continue to do. And I can tell you, while Ashley's an incredible leader, the team at Sustainable Conservation has been remarkable to work with. And we look forward to continuing to work together.
Success breeds more success, and we've been incredibly successful. What the organization is today and who it is a reflection of the energy, the charisma, the smarts, and the emotional intelligence of Ashley. She's created an organization that has people that share her culture and values.
We're going to continue to be inclusive, to have our strong community. We're going to continue to work with a philosophy of excellence and leading with inquiry and looking to the future and planning for how much more we can do in collaboration with others.
We do have some very big challenges in front of us. We are responding to climate change. We are responding to changes in demographics, to industry. It's a very dynamic and very uncertain world, but I think that means that there's room for us to seek solutions that are different and new and are taking advantage of all the different people that are affected by the policy issues that are before us. The fact that we have victories in these areas, I think those are providing a good foundation for future success. We've got momentum.
It's one thing to have a slogan, it's another thing to have an outcome. And I believe sustainable conservation is extremely well positioned to create outcomes that benefit both the environment and the people of California.
It's just this willingness to think about the whole of what makes California work. Like if you're going to come up with this environmental solution, what are the trade-offs and what are the costs and will it get you the results you're looking for? Sustainable conservation stands out for being strategic, pragmatic, but also some creativity of where are the people and how do we connect the dots?
When I think about why sustainable conservation is successful, there are so many people that are part of making it successful. All of our staff, all of our board members, all of our partners, and very importantly, all of our supporters. And I really do want to thank everyone who has been a supporter of sustainable conservation, whether it's been a few years or whether it's been over 20 or 25 years, which many of you have been. Thank you. You are the reason we are where we are today.